Whether it's acting, directing, visual effects, or sound mixing, there is a lot that can go wrong during the movie making process. Though projects of all sizes are planned for months in advance and there are thousands of different people contributing towards the final product, it's impossible to tell if everything's going to work in tandem until it all comes together on the screen. Nobody sets out to make a bad movie, but sometimes an unforeseen detail or script level problem can derail the entire thing. In fact, there are several movies upcoming that, at face value, might fall victim to that particular issue. From franchises that are repeating the mistakes of their predecessors, lazy stories that seem uninspired, or odd character additions that don't seem to mesh too well with what the movie is trying to do. There's still plenty to look forward to with these films, but there's also some big reasons to be worried. And it's with all that in mind that I'm Will for WhatCulture.com, and here are 6 mistakes that will likely ruin upcoming movies. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, dong. Number 6, having the same villain. The Avatar sequels. Avatar is widely regarded as a phenomenal visual treat, a stunning blockbuster experience that demands the biggest HD TV and the most expensive sound system that you can cram into your living room. But its characters and its story are not praised as highly. It's basically dances with wolves in space and feels a little predictable as a result. The story wasn't helped by the addition of a generic military villain either, with Colonel Miles Quaritch consistently spouting out dialogue that felt ripped from a bad PS1 video game cutscene. And unfortunately, he's going to be the bad guy in every single one of the Avatar sequels. It would be far better for these movies to feature a different, interesting antagonist, or multiple different, interesting antagonists. Plus, he actually died in the original. Bringing characters back from the dead tends to lower the stakes quite a bit. Number 5, Mimicry, The Grinch. The recent teaser for Illumination Entertainment's The Grinch, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as the titular character, was met with mixed to negative reception, and it's pretty easy to see why. Rather than trying something new or exciting, the animation studio appears to be sticking with what they know, and while it can sometimes be a good thing, the Marvel Studios formula does always deliver after all, here it essentially means they're copying their 2010 breakout hit, Despicable Me. From the trailer, it's clear that this version of the Grinch is just Gru with green hair, a grumpy loner with a minion sidekick, his dog, who enjoys walking around his nearby town and generally acting like a complete dick. Just check out that early Despicable Me scene where Gru freezes the people waiting for coffee. This trailer feels exactly like that. Sure, it'll probably be entertaining enough, but it looks far too safe and generic, and it would have been better to see something a bit more creative and faithful to the original character of the Grinch from the studio. Number 4, not enough Venom. Venom. Just like the Grinch, the trailer for Tom Hardy's Venom movie wasn't received too well at all. The problem was that it contained very few references to the actual character of Venom. We got to see Eddie Brock skulking around and lying in a hospital bed, but unless you knew what it was before you watched it, you'd have no idea that this was a comic book movie until the very end of the trailer. To put it bluntly, this looks more like an Eddie Brock drama with Venom tacked on rather than a full-blown Venom story, and that could be a bit of a problem. Because we, as fans, are excited to see Venom in action. It's true that this could be a Batman Begins situation where both sides of the character are equally developed and fleshed out, but given how much this trailer skews towards Eddie Brock, it's hard to have faith that Venom will be given the treatment he deserves. Number 3, Cloverfield Connections, Overlord. After the excellent 10 Cloverfield Lane, it seemed like the franchise could do no wrong, but the lukewarm response to the Cloverfield paradox has cast a sizable shadow over the future of J.J. Abrams' interconnected Cloververse. More specifically, all eyes are now on Overlord to watch if it will make the same fatal mistake as its predecessor. Overlord has been gestating since 2007, before the first Cloverfield came out, so there's a chance that Cloverfield Connections will be shoehorned into a pre-existing story. Like Paradox, this could completely kill the movie, disappointing Cloverfield fans as well as people who just want a great solitary story. But hopefully this won't be the case. Overlord's script has been reworked several times, so there is a chance that it's been built from the ground up with Cloverfield in mind all along. Number 2, Too Little Humanity, Godzilla King of the Monsters. After 2 movies, Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, Warner Bros.' Monsterverse has failed to deliver a set of human characters that are as compelling or exciting as the monsters punching each other and destroying stuff. Godzilla started off well, with Bryan Cranston's arc adding a lot of emotional weight to the proceedings, but he was unceremoniously killed off early on, leaving a huge void in the rest of the film that Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen just couldn't fill. Kong Skull Island was even worse. Barring John C. Reilly's memorable turn, every other character was pretty forgettable. While the main attraction of these films is of course the monsters, a disappointing human element just makes every monsterless second on screen feel downright boring. This is an easy flaw to forgive when watching on a giant cinema screen, but on your home TV, where the spectacle is less impactful, it stands out even more. With 2 out of 2 movies succumbing to this issue so far, the odds are not in Godzilla King of the Monsters' favour, especially considering the fact that it's set to feature a battery of god-sized monsters, which means there's even less screen time for engaging characters. Number 1, Black Adam, Suicide Squad. The original Suicide Squad had many problems, but chief among them was the use of Enchantress as the primary villain. It was ridiculous to have regular human characters like Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Rick Flag and Captain Boomerang facing off against an all-powerful witch, and the resolution of their conflict felt incredibly convoluted as a result. With that in mind, wouldn't it be logical for Suicide Squad 2 to feature a relatively underpowered villain like Joker or even the Penguin? Well, yes, probably, but the people behind the film apparently disagree. Late last year, it was reported that Black Adam, played by The Rock, would make his DCEU debut in Suicide Squad 2, acting as the squad's target and villain of the movie. That's Black Adam, the guy with Superman-level strength, endurance, speed, magic, and the ability to fly. Realistically, he could kill the Suicide Squad with both legs and arms tied behind his back. The team going up against him really doesn't make sense, but the movie is doing it anyway, and presumably they'll come up with some contrived way to ensure the team triumph. And there you have it folks, 6 mistakes that will likely ruin upcoming movies. Don't forget to leave your own thoughts down in the comments below, and like, share, subscribe and visit whatculture.com for daily news and articles. This is Will for What Culture, and thanks for watching.